welcome to NHL Nightly with your host, Jeremiah Maxwell, a.k.a. the Sports Beard, along with Pearlo Wisdom, the NHL handicapper extraordinaire, and Rico The goal-scoring prop dynamo, and featuring the degenerate gambler, Bostonian Mike.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to NHL Nightly. I'm your host, Jeremiah Maxwell. As always, Rico and Barry. What's up, guys? How's it going?
What's up?
Yeah, sorry for being late there. My camera wasn't working, but I got it fixed.
Well, no worries, man. No worries. We're just getting going. I'm a little bit behind schedule myself because that was such a great game between the completely devastated by injury New Jersey Devils and the Edmonton Oilers. Where's Avi? Avi, how'd your Oilers do? They got their asses kicked by a team missing their best player and their best defensive player. You're a moron. They suck. They're not good. Even Yaremchuk, the team that covers them, he's done. He goes, he tweeted tonight, and I quote, "I miss watching this Oilers team when they were good."
Yeah, Holloway, another goal for St. Louis tonight.
Yeah, Catherine, your Blue
Rangers
Jackets
just scored Brodzinski.
Yeah, nice. Oh, I forgot that game was on. Yes, good. That's the Rangers need to get a win here if they're going to stay in it. That's good stuff. So, Rico, I don't want to bury the lead because I was really excited about this Florida-Toronto game, but I didn't want to promote it. I really thought this Oilers-Devils game was going to be the game, and ESPN picked that game. What were your thoughts? I loved how the game started for the Leafs, and I loved that Domi got a goal, got a fight. I love seeing Domi get going. I think that's huge for the Leafs. I know they ultimately didn't win, but how do you feel? Like, you got to get some positives out of that game.
Yeah, it was a good game, man. It was a bad travel spot, like Pearlo said, for the Leafs. But I mean, a couple of breakdowns led to those Florida goals, but it was a great game. I just love meaningful games down the stretch.
Yeah.
And this was a meaningful game.
More times too.
Yeah.
You guys haven't played them at all, so those games are all super important. I think the Leafs are going to come back even stronger. Yeah. Good news is they got Tanev back tonight. How did he look to you?
He looked all right. I don't think he played a whole lot, but one thing I saw that Berube did was he kept the Matthews line away from the Bennett line. He started playing a little bit better of a line matchup as the game went on, and it just seemed like they got a little bit more room there. But I mean, Domi with his dad sitting in his regular seat instead of in the alumni box, like that's awesome. Man. I sit in his seat all the time instead of up in the rafters with the alumni. And dude, it was awesome. It was a great start to the game. And then the Leafs brought it to him a little bit in the third, but it was good, man. I mean, Florida owns Toronto. I mean, Bennett, whether Florida is able to keep Bennett, there's no way he leaves there. Like, he's such a killer, man.
If you're Toronto, do you offer Sam Bennett $10 million a year just because of what he does?
I would take Bennett and another $3 million player instead of Marner right now. I don't know. That's the thing in Toronto right now. Everybody's like, hey, would you just let Marner walk, sign a Bennett and another pretty decent piece? I don't know.
I would, dude. If you guys get bounced in the first round, I totally would. Now, if you make the conference finals, probably bringing Marner back, dude.
Well, that's going to dictate it, and that's why it's good for Marner to just walk it to free agent. He has the same agent as Bennett anyway, Pat Brisson. Those guys like to walk their players to free agency anyway, so it's going to help Marner if he has a good playoff and the Leafs go deep, and it's a win-win either way. Just let the guy just go to free agency, see how the Leafs do, and we'll take it from there.
I'll just say this. I'll tell you it's going to help Marner anyway because the cap's going up, and he's had a good year, so.
Yeah, but when it counts is when it counts.
I'll tell you who I don't want.
And Bennett got 2 goals tonight. Marner didn't get any. So
you're going to see a different Marner this year in the playoffs because they have a defense. He doesn't have to play for the defense this year. You're going to see a different Marner in the playoffs this year.
Oh, you think Marner? He'll have more energy because he has that.
Because he's not going to have to play for the defense. He can actually go. He can go quarter wall offense. He doesn't have to go back and fight for the puck all the time.
I'm going to say this on the record right now. I think the Leafs are going to go far in the playoffs. I just think it's I think Washington can make the conference finals at the Stanley Cup final. I think they can. I think people are counting them out. Dude, last year, they're minus 36. They don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Well, they got in. Sorry, they played better. This year, they're plus 70. They can't win. I'm like, what do you, I mean, they've flipped their thing over 100 goals from last year, and people are like, oh, they're not going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you know
okay,
what the thing is,
not watching them. They're going to lose that, though.
And if Bennett signs in Toronto, all of a sudden the whole world's going to be caving in on him, the media and everything, and then he'll just be expected to do so much. But when he's in Florida, he's just expected to go into Toronto, kick their ass, and leave town and play in South Beach. And it's just it's different, man. Playing in Toronto, and Marner succeeded there. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the playoffs this year, and that's going to dictate Marner's future for sure, because they wanted him gone after the last playoffs, and now it's it's show us again.
Catherine says, I would love Marner, man. I don't know how he'd feel, though, coming to the superstardom of Toronto. Yeah, and you go to kind of anonymity there, but Catherine, and I know those Blue Jackets fans are pretty rabid, and they just tend to leave you alone a little bit more in the U.S. Everyone always likes the flashy trade deadline ads, but they don't seem to work out the way people think they will. Oh, I agree. I mean, look, we're going to probably get Dallas and Colorado in the first round, and they made the two most moves, like the most significant moves, honestly. And then it'll, it's going to be interesting, man. I think Florida is probably going to, if they get by the first round matchup, which they're probably going to play, could be Ottawa, right? It could be Ottawa. Right now, it looks like Ottawa. Speaking of Ottawa, you know what Ottawa's starting to feel like to me? Florida 2024, 2023, the 2 years ago when they were the 8th seed and they got in on the last game of the year, and then they beat Boston, and then they beat Toronto, and then they sweep Carolina, and they go to the Stanley Cup final. Like, I think Ottawa is dangerous.
Yeah, the thing is with
goaltending, they got good, gritty forwards in this Cousins ad. I hate to say it, he's going to fall right in line with Ryan O'Reilly as soon as he leaves Buffalo. He goes, he did go to Colorado first, right? Didn't he go Colorado, Buffalo? Or did he go Colorado, Buffalo, then Buffalo to St. Louis? So he left Buffalo, he goes to St. Louis, he wins the Stanley Cup. We know the thing. Jack Eichel leaves, he gets a Stanley Cup. Reinhart leaves, Montour leaves, they get Stanley Cups. Okposo leaves, he gets Stanley Cup. Like, there's a lot. Now, Okposo was like, hey, we're hooking you up, but
I don't think they'd be Florida first round, but they could beat Toronto. I don't think they'd be Florida. They could be Florida second round. They could be Florida. They could be Florida second round though. After they get beat up by whoever they play in the first.
So you need Tampa to fall off, and they've actually lost 3 in a row. If Ottawa passes Tampa, we will get the Battle of Ontario first round. Rico, how do you feel about that? That would be cool.
Well, Kucherov's banged up, and Hedman hasn't played for 3 or 4 games either. But I mean, the thing with Ottawa is trading Josh Norris. He's been injured and stuff, and he's Brady Tkachuk's best friend. But those guys got paid early, and they were buddy, and they felt like they were maybe just set in their old ways there. And now they bring in Cousins, and you're bringing a little more physicality. And Cousins actually good friends at Batherson. They played in the World Championships together and stuff. So that trade for Ottawa was a huge trade, and you could tell Brady's going to get over that trade real quick. He scored the first goal in the next game after that trade happened. So I love the Senators, man. They needed a shakeup. They needed something there. Allmark playing against the old team tonight. I mean, Boston's overachieved the last 2 games.
Well, they came back, though. They made that a game. They almost made that a game.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want about the Ontario War, but I want the Tkachuks, man. Tkachuks.
Well, Brady isn't going anywhere. Brady's nice from Ottawa. He's settled there. He's got a home there. There's no way
he's saying he wants to see them play in the first round, Rico.
Yeah.
Now, I want to see the Tkachuks play any round. It doesn't matter. I don't want
to rain on your parade, but we don't know if Matthew's even going to play in the first round.
Dude, I could see Ottawa beating Florida in the first round.
I could see that happening too.
Nope. I don't see it. They could beat up Florida team, but a first round.
They can't beat the New Jersey Devils, who are missing Dougie Hamilton, Siegenthaler, who's actually been their best defenseman statistically.
Oh, you're thinking Edmonton? Oh, yeah.
And they're missing Jack Hughes. And Edmonton struggled and could not beat them.
You know how Edmonton's going to get through this year is Dallas is going to play Colorado in the first round. That's going to be a kryptonite right there in the West. And fireworks always happen in the West in the first round.
Well, that's
Dallas
why
is going to play Colorado in the first round, and one of those two teams are going to get knocked out. It's going to be a battle, and it's going to go to 7. And these teams are just going to be hurting when they come out of that. The same as last year.
Edmonton's not beating LA this year.
Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg makes it to the Cup Finals.
Edmonton's not beating LA this year. There's no way.
I don't think they could either, man. I think the way you see LA play 2 ways, smart, defensive. Yeah, they don't score a lot. Guess what? They keep the puck out of their net. And I trust their goaltending more than I trust Edmonton's. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm just telling you, man, in the history of the NHL, go back and look. Very rarely does a team beat someone 3 times in a row. Very rarely. Does not happen. And you look in the NFL, the Giants, the year we won the Super Bowl in 7, we were wild card. We lost to Dallas both times we played them in the regular season. We beat them in the playoffs. Doesn't matter. We win the Super Bowl. I think the Eagles, same deal. There's things like that where we played them twice. So
I took LA today in honor of you.
I said LA. If you saw the promo, I wore my Gretzky.
I had Florida. You know what I've learned? You know what I learned about Columbus? Vegas showed the weakness of Columbus.
I thought it's their goaltending, because I thought they dominated. Every time I was on that game, Pearlo, Columbus was in on Vegas's own end. They double shot them in the game almost. I thought they played a great game. They just couldn't beat Hill, who was the better goaltender, and their goaltender let in, I think, a couple sussies. Regardless, Vegas wins the game. But which is weird, Catherine, because the freaking Golden Knights have the worst penalty kill on the road. Like in the NHL, they have the worst penalty kill on the road. I don't understand why you guys couldn't bury a couple on the power play. That was a tough one.
Because they're big. They have that big defense in Columbus. It was most of those shots were from the outside.
But I got you, Pearlo. I thought they controlled a lot of the offensive play.
They did a lot of the outside stuff, and Vegas gave them the outside stuff. And they took shots from the outside, but they couldn't get in. That big defense of theirs, you look at the Columbus lineup, there's not too many guys there that can take out guys like Peter
Endo. Coming out of the Pacific Division and being in the conference finals unless they just don't play well.
I got that sneaky feeling that they're gonna turn it on in the playoffs myself too. Like they're sitting there in the weeds playing, everybody's forgetting about them, and next thing you know. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I thought you really dominated that first half of the first period, Catherine. I agree. Anyway, okay. All right, then. Who's in, who's out? What are the matchups? What do you guys think?
Rico's muted.
Yeah, go ahead, Pearlo.
Oh, okay. He's muted. So, like we were talking last night, I'm hoping it's not true, but I think Montreal is going to fall off.
They lost a point, but they're right there with the Blue Jackets, dude. They're 1 point behind them.
Oh, I know. It's just they've got a lot of small forwards there. Their defense is really young. They're good for short stretches, and like saw before the break, they lost like 3-4 in a row because they were just gassed. And I'm afraid that's going to happen again.
I'll tell you right now, and what my thought is. I think the Rangers and Ottawa are going to slide in. Columbus might fall off. I don't know. In Montreal, I think Detroit's got one of the hardest schedules left in the league. I don't think
Detroit doesn't have a chance. Yeah.
No.
Rangers just got tied with.
Good. I got the draw in that game.
So here's the thing. I think the window for the Rangers is closed. I just think they had this weekend to win against teams that were ahead of them. They had Ottawa down 4-1, and they lost the game in overtime.
I'm a little surprised that you're saying the Rangers are going to pull it out. You think they're just going to wake up here right at the end? Like, do the Laviolette's going to fire them up, and they're going to?
I don't know. Do you think the Rangers make the playoffs before Columbus? Because I think Ottawa's in. I think Detroit's
Ottawa's in.
Ottawa's in.
Columbus, Montreal, and the Rangers.
Ottawa
Which one
is
of
in.
those three teams is making?
I agree with you. Ottawa's in. Yeah.
Yep, you get no argument with me on Ottawa being in.
I do have that funny feeling about Columbus, and you know what kind of had me thinking about that, Rico, because it's funny you brought that up, is the whole big finale. It felt like almost like a finale thing with the stadium with Gaudreau. They're always going to play for Gaudreau, but I just feel like there was almost like a finality to it, and it's kind of hard to recreate it now for Gaudreau. They're always going to be playing for him, but I don't think it's the same anymore. It was a big emotional event, and they're always going to keep him in his heart. But I'm not sure if it's as much as now. It's got to get to the point of can you just play to play?
Well, it would be nice if they got Sean Monahan back too. Like I don't know if he's going to come back before, but
what do you think that he'll fall off, Rico? Like what is your thinking on that?
I'm just thinking goaltending for first of all, Shesterkin and the Rangers. I think Jonathan Quick. I think Quick in that dressing room is so good for those young guys. They're moving Lafreniere up the lineup coolly. I don't know, man. Columbus has the Rangers next, so this is probably the biggest game of the year. Columbus plays at home against New York Saturday night, so maybe this will dictate me thinking differently. But this is the match of the year between those two teams.
Catherine says they're getting Branson and Monahan back soon. They're both skating.
Honestly, if you're asking me, I'd love Columbus and Ottawa to slide in those last two spots.
Absolutely.
So you can ask
They're
me.
there now. It's Ottawa Columbus right now. I think
now is not never. Now is not forever. Things change.
I know.
If I could have it, I'd love Ottawa. And
I never
Columbus.
checked, but how many road games and how many home games does Columbus have? Because they struggle on the road, but they're killer at home.
They lost today at home, though. Catherine says they're playing the Rangers on Saturday. That's a huge game. Anyway, real quick. Yeah. Right now in the Eastern Conference, there's not a single team with a negative goal differential in the playoffs. Columbus lost 4-0 today, so they're now at even. But there's not a single team in the East. Now, in the West, there's two teams, and it's the two wildcard teams. Minnesota, who's tied with the Rangers right now, is at -5 goal differential, and the Calgary Flames are at 19. Now, that being said, though, both those teams have only allowed 186 goals. Not a ton of goals. They just aren't scoring a lot. I think the Calgary is one of the lowest scoring teams in the league. They're only 167 goals scored. So, when like top teams are, Dallas is 221, Winnipeg's 230, Colorado's 220.
Yeah.
Columbus is 217. They're way up there. The Capitals are 239. Florida's 218. That's the other thing. Florida, they have such a great goal differential. They're +41. That you go into the they're going to be a tough team, man, in the playoffs. But so in the West, who do you guys think? Vancouver gets a huge point, but Calgary still has a game in hand on them, and so they're considered tied in points right now. So because Calgary has the game in hand, they're actually in the wild card. Or does Utah or St. Louis sneak in? St. Louis had a chance today to get points against Pittsburgh and didn't. So you have 10 at home, 18 total, or you can't have 18 home games, Catherine, because that's about what you have left.
No, 10 of 17. 10. Columbus plays 10 of their last 17 at home.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good for them. 10 of 17. Okay, I see what you mean. Flames and Canucks are tied.
What's that? Bring up that strength of schedule for Vancouver and Calgary. I didn't know what that looked like for them. I'll tell you what. The one thing that has me with Vancouver is Rick Tocchet is one hell of a motivator, and if he gets those guys moving, man, you just never know. He's a great motivation coach.
He's going to be the Flyers coach next year.
Do you think so?
I do.
You think he leaves Vancouver? It makes sense.
So many places now, it makes me nervous. He can opt out. He's a free agent after this year. They're a disaster. Now, the good news with them is Pettersson has scored in the last 3 games, 3 of the last 4 or something. So, yeah, here, I got Grab's tweet here. I'm not going to throw it on the screen, but The Flames have the 17th most difficult schedule remaining. So they're middle of the road. The other team, Vancouver, you ever seen where Vancouver is? Vancouver, I think Vancouver has the 12th most difficult schedule. So they have a much tougher schedule. The Red Wings have the most difficult schedule. They're not getting in.
This road trip coming up for them is brutal.
The Bruins have the 27th most difficult. So they have a very easy schedule. They have a bottom third schedule the remaining year. So the Bruins still not out of it, like could make the playoffs. That would be the most shocking thing to me, is that they're sellers and they make the playoffs. I know their fans would be pissed too. Because I heard that from Mike Grinnell today on Morning Cup of Hockey. Like,
yeah, no, you're just killing your draft pick and losing the first round. Like, why would you do that?
I mean, yeah, exactly. You don't want to. If I'm a Boston fan, I don't want to make the playoffs. Like, awesome, they're playing hard and stuff, but yeah. What do you guys think? Who's in on the West? Give me your thoughts.
I think Vancouver sneaks in. I put a bet on St. Louis, but after that game, I mean, they've been off for 4 days or something going into Pittsburgh, and no excuse. So you
got to beat Pittsburgh
in that game in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They're not good. They're not a good team. You should be able to go in there and bully them. Now, Pittsburgh's been playing some pretty good hockey as of late, and I think I had them in that game.
Yeah, it's just Crosby and Raquel. Like, just take those 2 goal props all day long.
Yeah. Did he score? Crosby? Crosby's going to have 30 goals by the end of the year, man. He's having a hell of a year, man. He's like minus 23, though. He's had like the worst goal differential of his career. So that's bad. No. But
I don't know. I think Vancouver probably sneaks in. Minnesota's already cemented there. So it's
Ryan Graves got his first goal of the year for them.
Yeah, and so did the 2 Connors from Toronto, Connor Timmins and Connor Dewar.
Yeah, I forgot Connor Timmins went there.
Oh yeah, the 2 Connors.
Was that a nice little pickup by him, actually.
What was the deal that Connor Timmins was involved with them? Because I know you guys had to make room to get in Carlo and stuff.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh ate money or ate those 2 players or something. Yeah.
And they took on for eating the salaries, they got Connor Timmins.
Yeah. Which
makes so much sense. Dubas would want Timmins because he brought him in, right? He's actually, I mean, forgetting that guy, wasn't he on the ECHL roster for the Arizona team? I don't even think he was on their AHL roster.
Dubas likes his guys, man. That's why I'm surprised he sent Bunting to Nashville.
But I mean, to get a guy who wasn't drafted, who played ECHL, to get some meaningful right-hand shot defense minutes for you. I know he wasn't perfect, but he had some pretty decent moments with the Leafs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think he was awful. I bet Hot Take Hockey, if he was here, he would say he liked Connor Timmins more than he liked Justin Hall.
Oh yeah, no.
You know,
I thought you were going to say Philip Myers, and then I would add an argument. But
no, Justin Hall. No, but like Hall was supposed to be a top 4 guy for you guys. He just he's not very good. Didn't he play top 4 for you guys?
Yeah, but
I mean that was the problem, right? I thought he would do well in Detroit because I thought he would play bottom 6 or the bottom pair.
Well, just Yzerman paid him too much money. That was his problem.
Yeah, but that's not. I think isn't that deal up anyway?
Dude, I listened to Dropping the Gloves at John Scott today. He had Darren McCarty on there. I love McCarty, man.
You got to get him on. I bet you we could ask him to come
Darren McCarty would totally come on. He's sober as a judge right now. He just loves talking hockey. He works for the Wings. He doesn't have anything to do with player development or anything. He just works with the crowd and like the in arena stuff. And he just had he said it right about Detroit too.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him, man. I think we could have him on.
Yeah, he was talking about visiting Draper in the hospital when he had his broken jaw and orbital bone, everything. He's like, "Don't worry, I got this."
Dude, that guy was so clutch, man. He was so clutch.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a good interview on Dropping the Gloves at John Scott. I listen to that pod once in a while. That's not a bad one.
Hall has 1 more year left at 3-4. Just thought you were asking. So Hull has 1 year left at 3-4.
Is he on the all Pearlo team?
No, actually, he's better. He got a little too much crap there. He's not horrible. He's better defensively than a lot of other players have had there.
But not 3.4 mil.
Yeah, it's maybe a little high, but it's not bad. You got to remember with the cap where it is, it's not as bad as Sherrod's deal. To put it that way, I think Sherrod's deal's worse. I would, so, yeah.
Okay, who makes it in the West, Pearlo?
Oh man, I've been pining for Calgary all year.
Yeah, I want them to make it. No offense, Vancouver fans. You've been too much of a dumpster fire this year. But when Hughes being back and skating 30 minutes, he looked good.
I got a future on Utah to make it, but I think that's pretty not chance.
Whoa. I think Rempe just took a dude out. I don't think he did it. It's actually was fucking not his fault at all. He doesn't raise his arm or anything. He just
I feel like that's what happens at Rempe every time. It feels like deja vu when you just said that. Oh, Rempe just took a guy out, but I don't think it's his fault.
Well, this time I would. So I'll put it up on the screen for you guys.
The guy's so big, and he could take anybody out back.
It's in the middle of the ice. It's not up against the boards or nothing. It's not dirty. I don't. He doesn't see the guy.
A lot of real estate.
Here, I'll get that here. We'll get it. You guys tell me in the chat. Do you think this is dirty play? This is from a while back.
He's too skilled for his size.
So,
who's that?
No, he's like, excuse me.
He doesn't. He's not looking even. He's not even. And then once he looks back, he looks back.
Well, he was looking at the guy left to him. And then the guy.
He doesn't even look. He didn't see. He did not see the guy.
Left.
The guy he ends up destroying. He did not see.
No, 100%.
Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong there. What the hell is that?
Well, I don't know what it was called. It says Rempe is called for interference, and Minnesota ties the game.
No way.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was
the Minnesota guy wasn't even looking, and neither of them are.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now everybody's just going to run into Rempe and fall down.
No,
well, that game's still on. 41 seconds left to go. Well, 22 seconds.
The people are just going to run into Rempe and fall down.
Right when they need a power play, they're just going to look for Rempe and run into him and fall down.
Go after that
guy. I need the draw there, so please just stick where it is.
Well, it's going overtime. Overtime. No way. Yeah, you got the draw. And we're waiting. So puck should be dropping for Blackhawks Sharks, which, by the way, I saw Frank Saravelli on the broadcast. I don't know if he was on for San Jose, which was awesome. What's this, Catherine? You'll have to explain the cat crying for me, for F's sake. The Rempe stuff, or you'll have to explain what you mean. Okay. And Capitals Kings puck drop here momentarily too. But we got overtime Rangers, so we'll stick with that. Let's talk about some of the games tomorrow. Oh, the Rempe stuff, yeah.
I like the card tomorrow.
I can't blame Rempe on that one. It sucks that he got a penalty. I mean, the worst thing, though, it's not a suspension. It was not done. Clearly, it was not purpose. It was on purpose. He doesn't even see the guy. It's in the middle of the ice. The guy runs into him. It sucks. It is what it is. He's so big. You know, they have a good record with him. I have a winning record with him in the lineup, so I would play him. Okay, tomorrow, 6 games. Let's do highlights of games that are important. Red Wings, Hurricanes. Not so much for the Hurricanes, but pretty much because they're in. I mean, they're going to be the second in the Metro without question. They're going to host the playoff game.
Yeah, give me Detroit here.
Yeah, you like Detroit at plus 190?
Yeah, that's a plus. Yeah, because I'm not betting Carolina at that price.
No, I wouldn't.
Carolina is going to Philly the next day. It's another divisional game. Players.
Well, this isn't a divisional game. This is a conference game, but Red Wings are in the Atlantic and Carolina's in the Metro, so.
No. That's why I'm saying Carolina's going to Philly the next day.
Yeah, the Metro. You're talking about that being the divisional game. I'm sorry. I
think they'll just try and play their way through and under in this game against Detroit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Something must be going on with Talbot and Lyon because they're going back to Mrazek again. And,
they traded for Mrazek. I think they just didn't like their goaltending all year.
It's either they just didn't like it. I think Talbot might have been burning out. Maybe something's going on with him. Lyon, they don't trust anymore.
Good night, Josh. Appreciate you.
He's had a rough year down the road, but I don't trust Mrazek. I can't take the Red Wings here. I'm sorry. Give me the Hurricanes. I know we don't like to do these, but Hurricanes minus 0.5 first period, and then I'll just leave it at that. But I can't take the Red Wings with Mrazek and that. I just can't do it.
Hey, Catherine, I totally get it. I get it. Yeah, you're going to play him a lot too, so I get that. I get that sentiment. Okay, next game, Oilers-Islanders. Islanders plus 114. Boy, the Oilers got to win this game, or they are officially in a skid. Like, they're not finishing second in the Pacific if they don't figure it
Oilers
out.
all day. Oilers first period. Oilers puck line.
Yeah.
Islanders coming off a Western trip. This is a quick start for Edmonton. Just take first period props.
If we cussed, I would tell you what the Oilers give, what the Islanders give right now, but we don't cuss on the show. So even the Oilers, at this way they are, can destroy the Islanders in this spot. Just give me the Oilers all day.
We'll see. We'll see. Charlie Dufaw in here. Oilers will fall. They suck. Charlie agrees with me. They do suck, Charlie. They're freaking
fans hate Oilers fans because Gretzky dominated.
This is probably the game of the freaking day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Stars Jets.
Yeah.
Stars are a 110 road dog. I think I like the Stars here, boys. I don't care if it's in Winnipeg. I think the Stars need to make a statement here.
No, Jets, 100% Jets.
Oh, the Rangers score. The Rangers score. Braden Schneider in overtime. The Rangers get a point. Woo!
Okay.
Good job,
I didn't care about who won.
Hey, where the hell have Dallas been since Sunday? Because they played Vancouver Sunday night, and now they're playing at Winnipeg Friday night. Where the hell did they go in between?
I don't think they went anywhere in between. Let me check. We can talk a little bit about this.
Personally, like, did they just land their flight in Vancouver for 5 days? 6 days?
I don't remember them playing in between that.
They played Sunday in Vancouver. Now they're playing Friday in Winnipeg.
Yeah, they haven't played in 5 days, dude.
No, where did they go?
They haven't played since Vancouver.
Yeah.
So where did they go?
Sunday. Now it's Friday in Winnipeg. I'm just saying, where did this flight take off and where did it land? Did they go back to Dallas?
Maybe they did. Maybe they went home for a while and then went to Winnipeg. It's hard to say.
Maybe they went to Alaska.
That's the weirdest spot ever right there. Yeah, Winnipeg. Winnipeg just played there. They're both going to be, you know what I like here? I like the over. They're both going to have fresh legs.
Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, Winnipeg's coming back from Carolina on Sunday, and now they're Tuesday at home against the Rangers.
Dallas,
that's going to be one hell of a game, man. That's going to be one hell of a game.
I like Dallas here at plus 110.
I like Winnipeg.
Okay, next game, and also another good game. This will be the last one we talk about for Friday. Avalanche Flames. Huge game for the Avs. Or the Flames. But boy, I like the Flames at plus 154 here, man. They're at home. Their back is up against the wall. They know they got to win the games they can. Colorado's kind of struggled to find the back of the net with all the new pieces they've added. I think they could keep this to the under game, like a 3-2 Flames game. They almost pulled it off against Vancouver. They just didn't play aggressive in the third. It was a great game, by the way. What do you guys think?
I like Calgary here, too, because Colorado's going home right after this against Dallas. This is a look-ahead spot a little bit against the Stars at home after this game 2 nights later.
Sweet, you're all.
I'm going to give the Flames a shot here, too. I'm with you on that, too.
Okay.
I don't think Colorado cares about this game all that much.
11 games Saturday. Obviously, I'll be watching the 5 p.m. Eastern Washington Capitals San Jose Sharks game. Sharks just scored, by the way. Smith Thank you, Avi. Up against Chicago, 1-0. I think we were on the Sharks, were we not? Lightning Bruins is kind of a big one. If the Bruins are going to stick, we got the Battle of Ontario, hockey night in Canada. The Sens come in to play the Leafies. Great game. Also, Florida and Montreal. That's a great game. Rangers Blue Jackets, like our friend Catherine told us about earlier. That's a huge one. No lines for any of these, but just giving you guys a shout out for those games. Those are probably the most significant games on Saturday. Sunday, the 7-game slate. Golden Knights Red Wings, big game for Red Wings. They got to keep winning. They have the most difficult schedule left in the NHL, so it's going to be very, very hard for them to make it. But if they do, watch out. Stars Avalanche, great big game right there on TNT Max, Sunday game. And then Oilers Rangers to kind of cap off the night if you want some. That's going to be a good one. So Rangers need to win badly, and Oilers got to find their game. So those are the games over the weekend that we'll miss. Final thoughts for you guys before we call it an evening. What we got going on this weekend? You guys doing anything? I'm going to get out of the house. We got 6 inches of snow today. I had to snow blow for the second time of the year, which if I told you this was the second week of November, I'd have been like, yeah, no big deal. But this is the second week of March. And I've only had to snow blow once. So I think, Pearlo, you had more snow in Indiana than I did. So
all winter, maybe. I mean, we only had like 4 or 5 days where the snow stayed on the ground. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You live in the South now, Pearlo. But Rico, you came home to a lot of snow, right? Is that all gone now, or do you still got a lot of snow?
Pretty much. It's going to be plus 15 here on Saturday, so it's going to be pretty much gone. And the wife's sister and her hubby and her family are coming down for March break, so they'll be here tomorrow and the rest of the weekend from Ottawa. So they'll be visiting us, and just be hanging out, chilling out. And I've been betting on NCAA basketball, and it's the Players Championship for golf, so I've been betting on that too.
Yeah, fun stuff to watch. Daughter's friend has a birthday party, and I think a lunar eclipse. You're right, there is a lunar eclipse, Catherine. I don't know if I'm going to see that in Alaska. We don't get to see a lot of that. Lots of snow in Edmonton today. All right, Charlie. Well, you probably got what we got earlier, because I imagine that weather pattern kind of just drifts over. But yeah, we got hammered with snow at like 1 o'clock, and it didn't stop snowing until about 11. So I had to get out and move snow today for like I plowed trails for the dogs and had to do the driveway and stuff. Got the whole 1.1 acres cleaned up a little bit. So that's what I did. All right. Well, everybody sounds like they're going to have Pearlo, you didn't say what you were doing the weekend.
Let's see. Saturday is going to be like a million games on. So I'm going to be capping all day and doing all that. But Sunday, I am going to surprise my wife somewhere. I found a little restaurant she doesn't know about, and I'm going to take her out. She's not going to know what's going to happen. I'm just going to say, let's go for a drive, and take her to the restaurant, and then we're going to go see a comedy show after that. So,
that's cool.
Who are you going to go see? Who's in town?
It's 3 different guys. They're all clean. What the heck is his name now?
Local funny guys that keep it clean. That's keeping it clean is good. Just don't sit in the front row, Pearlo, at a comedy show unless you want to get roasted. So pick your spot.
Jim Gaffigan. Jim Gaffigan.
I love this guy. Like, I don't care, clean or whatever comics, but this guy is absolutely hilarious. And his name is
so much you don't remember his name. What's his name?
Just wait.
That's one thing I know about comedy shows is don't pull up a chair and table near the stage unless you want to get roasted, or you can give it back. So sit in the back. You're safe.
Charlie, Pearlo can't snow blow your driveway anymore, brother. He doesn't live in Edmonton anymore. He lives in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So it's going to take him a while. He's probably going to have to
Regan. Brian Regan.
Oh, Brian Regan's good, man. I know Brian Regan. Brian Regan's really funny. Yeah, that's a good one, man. That's a great show. Yeah. Dude, I know a bunch of people that work in stand-up comedy. So
yeah, I don't know why I always forget his name, but Brian Regan. going to see him. So
Yeah.
it's going to be fun.
If I was a comedian, I'd want to work on a cruise ship. Be a cruise ship comedian. That would be the best.
Hey, Rico aiming high instead of selling out Madison Square Garden. Catherine says she doesn't like female comics much because they seem to have excessively raunchy. You know what, Catherine? There's a bunch of young ones coming out that got some good stuff. Give them a chance. There's this one gal I follow on Instagram, Cactus something. Anyway, she's hilarious, and she's a mom like you, real young mom, and she bitches about kids are entitled and stuff. It's pretty funny.
Nate Bargatze and Brian Regan. That's what it is.
Nate Bargatze is huge, bro. He's huge.
I know. Brian Regan he's so huge right now. Brian Regan is opening for him.
Yeah, Brian Regan was big. Brian Regan's hilarious, man. Brian Regan's great. Yeah, Nate Bargatze and Brian Regan are great. I said Nate Bargatze to you at the beginning because you said clean comic. It's him.
I said chubby guy. Who's the chubby guy I see on my mentions?
Oh, Jim Gaffigan is also a clean comic.
Jim Gaffigan's huge, yeah. But,
he's a clean comic. So,
and the other guy's kind of an unknown sort of dude. He's probably just stoked that he's going to be with Nate Bargatze and Brian.
Oh no, Brian Regan's not unknown, dude. I knew about him. He's been around.
No. There's 3 comics, and the other guy it's Regan, Bargatze, and a relatively unknown guy.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Have fun. Rico, you have a great time with your wife's family.
Yeah, man.
And I'm going to go furniture shopping with the wife. We're going to prep for a volcano that's going to erupt. So we got to get a bunch of stuff to make sure the air is purified. We can keep the dogs in the house for however long we have to. So Rico's in Barrie, Ontario, Charlie. He's from Thunder Bay, though. He's from Thunder Bay.
We got the same amount of snow down here as Thunder Bay. They just get a little more cold than we do.
Yeah, I think you live it pretty. It's not. I don't think Barrie, Ontario, is for the faint-hearted. But I want to get to Ontario in the summertime, like Sud Vegas. I've heard all about Sudbury. I want to get out. That's some beautiful country, man.
It's gorgeous there, man.
Yeah, I want to get out that way. So
out to Sudbury. Oh man, that's awesome, man. I love the blueberries, man. I can't even eat any other blueberries after going there.
Well, eat blueberries. Watch season 4 of Shoresy, now available on Hulu in the United States. Go. Great. I've gone through have you watched this season yet, Rico?
No. I'll watch it.
Okay, dude. Rico, it's 6 episodes. I don't think one of them's over 30 minutes. Maybe one of them is. So it's like an hour and a half. Like it's like a short movie. Yeah. So it's not very much time. So maybe 2 hours. I don't know. Everybody have a great night. Pam, hey, thanks for popping in. Everybody have a great night. Have a great weekend. I'm happy to go and eat dinner and watch my Capitals, and hopefully Obi gets a goal here. But I think the Kings are going to win. But
Obi's getting one. PLD might be getting one against his old team.
The hockey gods are going to award him for what he did for Pro yesterday, which was pretty awesome.
Kings just got a penalty, so
who did?
Might get your wish.
Oh, did Ovechkin? Oh,
Dano just slashed someone.
Ovechkin draw a penalty. He still has not drawn a penalty this year. Anyway, on that note, have a great day. Have a great weekend. Have a great night watching 2 more hockey games. And we'll see you next Monday, 10 p.m., 10 after Eastern Standard Time, 7:10 Pacific. On all my social
media. My cat says bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.